Hello, VC. Ed from On My Turntable here. And this is another episode that I'm going to try on my channel where it's called It's New to Me, where I pick up an LP by an artist or a band that I've heard of before, but currently don't own anything by them. And I have really not paid much attention to their catalog or discography. So almost like a blind buy, if you will. But in essence, giving them one of their LPs a spin is definitely something new for me to listen to. And then I tend to take notes, give off my first impressions of what I'm listening to, and then I go back, and then after I've done that, listen to it a few times, I read about it online, see how it's reviewed and ranked within the online music sites, etc., all that good stuff. So the LP and band that I chose for It's New to Me for this episode is What by 10 Years After. So I picked this up a few weeks ago in Florida. I thought it was pretty cool and pretty sharp to look at. 10 Years After is a band that all I know about them is that they're a British guitar band, and they've got that song on FM satellite radio that's been played forever, classic rock stations. Couldn't even tell you how it goes. I've never heard it all from start to finish. So in short, it's a band that I've kind of have been off my radar for all this time. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to listen to something by them because it definitely is new to me. So this LP, we have a total of 8 tracks on here. They look to be all originals when I first looked at it. At the bottom there, the last track on side 2 is a cover of Chuck Berry's Sweet Little 16, recorded live at the Isle of Wight. And so it is a gatefold LP, and pretty cool here. This little inside gatefold, very psychedelic, very colorful. And when I looked at the names on here, some name I recognize, all I recognized on here was color processing done by Graham Nash. Have no idea if it's Graham Nash, but that's the name that's on here. So the credits in here are Alvin Lee, guitar and vocals, Leo Lyons on bass, Chick Churchill on keyboards, and Rick Lee on drums. And all the tracks on here are written by Alvin Lee, save for Sweet Little 16. So let me show you a copy of the pressing that I got. Here is first side, here is side 2. And I pronounce it Duram, so I'm going to say it's on the Duram label. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that's what I'm going with. So, opening track, I'm Coming On. Got my notes right here. Very much just a bluesy guitar vamp. There's some double tracking going on. Hammond organ action, which I really, really love. It's a cool little funky opener. I like that song very much. Typical, bluesy kind of chug along kind of track. Pretty cool. Next up on side 2 is a track called My Baby Left Me. And the lyrics are rather perfunctory, almost rudimentary. As I'm listening to this LP as it goes on, I'm discovering that the lyrics are secondary. It's all about the musicianship and jamming, if you will. But the lyrics are pretty basic. My baby left me high and dry. Bye bye, I want to die. Knew never coming home. I want to die. My baby left me. All that fun stuff. But those lyrics pretty much end fast, and we go right into a pretty much straight up guitar jam, blues jam that they have going on. Probably something that would probably play great really live. Next up, third track is called Thinking About the Times. This one was pretty forgettable, standard mid-tempo tune. Didn't think that much of it. Not much else to say about it. Didn't really resonate with me or stick with me. And the last track on side 4 is called I Say Yeah. So once again, it's not about the lyrics. It's all about the musicianship and the interplay between the various guitar, bass, drums, a lot of Hammond organ action going on. There's actually what seems to be a didgeridoo in that track called I Say Yeah, which is the last track on the first side. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like that track. Next up on side 2 is the shortest track in the LP called The Band With No Name. Short instrumental. I listened to it. It's very acoustic based, almost like the theme to like some sort of like Western TV show or movie. Got that kind of galloping, Western kind of feel. And they must have been thinking the same thing because it ends with like a big shotgun blast, almost like something out of a cartoon Western. The next 2 tracks in side 2 are called I'm Gonna Run and She Lies in the Morning. And both of those, in essence, they can go right into each other. They both have the same structure and style where a couple of lines of lyrics in each, and then it's all about the jam. And solos galore. There's a bass solo, guitar solo, piano solo, organ solo, thankfully no extended drum solos. But that's what this is all about for these 2 songs, is that it's all about the jam, and once again, has a very much a late night feel to it. I can see how these tracks probably went on for a good length of time when this band played them live. Will be my guess. And then lastly, like I said, is the cover of Chuck Berry's Sweet Little 16 from the Isle of Wight. It just seems sort of out of place with everything that I've listened to before on this LP. Certainly can't go wrong with the cover of Chuck Berry's Sweet Little 16, but maybe they were short tracks and they were told they had to throw something on there. So who knows? But there it is. So I listened to it for a couple of times, took some notes the first time, and then sat back a few hours later and a day later and listened to it again with no distractions. You know, it's fine. It's good. It's not a type of music that I tend to gravitate to. I got to be in a certain mood to listen to this type of prog rock, a little bit of prog bluesy jam kind of stuff going on. It's very Cream-like, almost like early Deep Purple-like to me. That Hammond organ really brings that out. But that's the sound that I'm thinking of when I hear this, and it's good. But I don't know if it's something that I go back to for repeated listens. So when I went back and read about it online, I found out a couple of things about the LP. So this was an LP that was released in March 1970, and it was actually their 5th release 10 years after. And it reached number 21 on Billboard in the States and number 5 in the UK. And the tracks that did stick out to me the most, I'll go back and say, were on side 1 was I'm Coming On, and the track ending side 4, I Say Yeah, and tracks 2 and 3 on side 2, which is going to run and she lies in the morning. So those are the ones that really tended to stick out to me as I listened to this, ones that I'd listened to a few times. So when I read the reviews online, the consensus seemed to be pretty much the same thing, where this is good, but it was almost 10 years after, phoning it in, maybe a little burnt out after touring, and they had to get a release out there. And they kept referencing that this formula worked better on their previous release, something called Cricklewood Green, which I'm not familiar with. So maybe if I see that out, I'll go pick that up. And there you have it. So that is It's New to Me, What by 10 Years After from 1970. So feel free to share your comments. Feel free to let me know what you think about this LP. Was this a good place to start? Are there other items in their discography that I should be checking out and listening to that might give me a different impression of this band? So once again, it's all about discovering new stuff. And I'm having a good time here on the VC. I appreciate everybody's comments, subscriptions, and likes. I'm having a lot of fun. So thanks again for watching. No matter when you're watching, have a good rest of the day and or a good evening. And as I always say, let's be kind to one another. Thanks, everyone.